Hey, how's it going? So I did say that I wanted to talk about some other stuff. One of the, I think I don't get asked the question. I guess probably people don't know to ask this question. But have you ever wondered, if you ever wondered, how do I know if I'm on the right track? If something I'm doing is working? Let's say, in the case of you're running an ad campaign, you've got your offer up, and you want to see, like, you want to have an idea, is this, going in a good direction, or is it time to pull, or should I pull the plug? Well, over the years, I've discovered, like, intuitively, I've found that when something's going to work, it works quickly. Okay, which I didn't really put together until a few days ago. And what I mean by that, really, what that ends up meaning is, and why that is the case. Suppose, for instance, you've got a campaign that's running, okay, and you ran it, and I don't know, a week goes by, there isn't a sale, no sales. 2 weeks go by, there are no sales, and then perhaps on the fourth week, there's a sale. Well, there's a really good chance that if you ran this campaign next month unchanged, you didn't change much in your offer, you didn't change anything with the campaign itself, you didn't really do anything drastic, okay? So anything minor is probably not going to change much, okay? But if you do something drastic, if you don't do anything drastic in the next period, you're not likely to see another sale come through for another month, okay? It's going to take another month to see the next sale. And for me, that would probably indicate something that's not working. Okay, I would like to see, now obviously your budget will play a large role in this, so it's not, and how much traffic you're seeing will play a role in this, but I would like to see a sale per day as a baseline for something that could be working, that might be working. A sale a day, you can probably, okay, it doesn't have to be a sale a day, it can be a sale every two, depends on how expensive your product is, depends on how much traffic, how big your list is, and things like that. There's a lot of factors, so you can't take my rate as your rate. But like I said, if you are going to have something that works, it tends to work quickly. So let's say, on the other hand, you ran something, you put something together and you ran it, and then within 24 hours, you had your first sale, or maybe you had 2 sales. Okay. I would say that that's probably likely to give you another sale tomorrow. If it doesn't, give it another day and you'll see another sale without any drastic changes. You're probably on the right track. Okay. Now, why is that? I think that what it ends up being is that it's a rate, basically, and you're seeing it. So basically, if you got a sale today, it means that, if you got a sale when you first launched the thing, and over 24 hours, that was the only sale you had, your current rate is a sale per day. Now, it's unlikely that you'll get the sale today, and then for a month, you'll see nothing else. Just a hunch, Of course, it could happen. There are some flukes where you happen to, as soon as you launched, you got the first sale, and then you don't get it anymore because it was never really that good anyway. But what happens more generally is, okay, so you are almost certain that this is going well if you got a sale from the first day. When you give it another 24 hours, if you get another sale, that's your rate. That's your average rate, a sale per day. Okay. If the next day you get no sale and then you leave it for a third day, and on the third day you get a sale, then your current average rate, because it's adjusted obviously, is along the lines of about a sale every 2 days, which might be okay. Give it a little longer. I don't like to make, this is the thing about me, I don't like to make major changes until I establish my rates. So I'm not likely, if I saw a sale or I didn't see a sale, I'm not likely to go and make a major change right away. But if 3-4 days go by, there's no sale, it's probably a good idea to make a major change at that point. Not major change, but it's time to go and do an iteration. You got to go and make a change somewhere and try something else, because 3 days is probably a long time to go without a sale, especially if you are spending money on traffic and you're seeing some, a reasonable volume of traffic. Let's say you're running, I don't know, $50 a day of traffic. I would say a low end sale of one a day is not a crazy expectation to make. Okay. Let's say, and look at it also, maybe perhaps a better way to look at it would be in terms of how much you're spending versus what you're looking to earn. So if you, for instance, you're making $20 on a sale and it takes you a day of $50 per day spending to get it, you are probably good. This is probably the way to go. I mean, yes, you haven't made profit, but this can be turned around. You have a rate. You have a good rate, in fact, that you can work from. Okay. If you are, for instance, you're looking to make, let's say, and if you're doing continuity product, don't look at it as the initial month, because continuity has a higher resistance factor. So look at it as probably like times whatever the value is, times 3, maybe 6, so that you would factor in what the real cost is to most people in terms of its difficulty. But let's say you're looking at, let's just talk about fixed price products for now. Single one-time products. So suppose you're looking at a $100 product that you're trying to sell and you spent $50 and you didn't make money. Well, that's probably nothing to worry about just yet. It's a $100 product. You probably need to spend at least $100 before you can expect to make a sale. And I would say spending as much as double what you what you make is not crazy. It's not a crazy, like when you're starting out, obviously, because there's always room for tweaking and for all sorts of things. So if you end up spending double and you have made a sale, then you're probably okay. You're probably on the right track, especially if you leave it, and the same period passes by, and within that period you get another sale. Then you know that, okay, cool, this is it. This is what it's going to take. You established your rate. Now you can work from there. But if you find that, for instance, you spent 4, 5, 6, 10 times what you are going to make on the sale, there's something wrong here. I mean, it shouldn't cost you that much to make that sale. You shouldn't need that much traffic to see a sale, especially when we're talking about a lower cost front end, a $20, for instance, front end product. I mean, you shouldn't have to spend $200 to make $20. That's not a campaign that's working. Most likely, there's something wrong with it. And when I say campaign, I don't mean necessarily the ad campaign. There may be something off about your targeting, but more than likely you have something wrong with several things in your process. So I would go and revise most of that stuff. Now, this brings me to another topic I wanted to talk about. Which is, I was listening to, I mentioned this guy before. His name was Naval. What was his last name? I forget. Sorry. Is a Naval Ravikant. Sorry, Naval Ravikant. He was talking about this concept. I kind of stuck with me. I've been thinking about it since I heard it. It's kind of cool. The idea of experience, the idea of experience and learning. He was saying that if, for instance, you have you've got a shop and you stock the shelves every day, right? You stock the shelves every day, and you go in and you do the same thing day in, day out, right? And you do this for 10 years. Chances are you haven't really developed a whole lot of experience, basically. I mean, on paper it's a lot of experience, but you've just done repetition. You've repeated the same thing over and over and over. And perhaps the best thing that you can say you got out of it is that you became faster. You could do it without thinking so much. It's more automatic, right? But that's really about as much as you could say you would have got out of it. Now, if on the other hand you think of experience as number of iterations, and that is where basically you go in, you try something new, you keep trying new things, you experiment each time. So you spend the 10 years trying out different things. Let me try to put this product here. Let me try to put that product there. Let me start from the bottom. Let me start from the top. Let me do this. Let me that. Whatever, all the different things that you like, different combinations that you could try. What that ends up being is iterations where you're building on some experience. You learn something. You try something. You look at what the result is from that, and then you improve on it, or you try more in that direction, or avoid that direction. And that is part of that experimental process that I speak of when I was talking about how to know when you have reached that point of success with your campaign, where you're onto something. Hey, here's something that I should probably try to nourish. It's kind of like you sparked a little fire, and now it's like you want to keep the fire going. You don't want it to go out again. And so at that point where let's say you got your first sale, and then 2 days later you got your second sale, and then 2 days later you got your third sale. You've sparked a fire. Okay, so here's where you want to start to iterate slower. Okay, you want to do your iterations more slowly. Whereas before, when you're not getting that result, your iterations need to be bigger. Basically, okay, that didn't work. Let me try changing the entire landing page. Let's use a different strategy, not a new headline. Let's use a different strategy. Okay, let me try, instead of using a long form sales letter, let's try a short page, for instance. Instead of the short page, let's go the splash page, for instance. Let's go to the hybrid page. Let's try that instead. Let's do a 2-step checkout where we capture the email address, and then we go ahead and try to sell to them the product. Let's do and so on. You try different things like that. Let me try a different approach in the ads, or a different targeting in the ads. It's like significantly different. Now, I'm not going to go after people who are looking at network marketing opportunities and personal development stuff and all that stuff. I'm going to go and try the such and such crowd. Let me switch out the sales page for this. Let me try a different product. Perhaps that's the issue. For instance, with me, with the super traffic machine, sending out daily emails about the super traffic machine, I tried out a bunch of different things, because it wasn't initially, it was a little bit of a struggle to get anybody to purchase, basically to subscribe to the super traffic machine. So we tried a bunch of different strategies, different things. Let me try different kinds of emails. Let me try shorter emails. Let me try longer emails. So these were all different iterations. And when things didn't work, okay, what else? And then there's a certain point in time where, and I heard this from, I heard it from Steve Jobs. He was talking about this, and I heard it from more than one person, actually, but I can't remember who else. Recently, I heard the same bit of advice. Dude, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Steve Jobs was saying when he was a kid, he called up I don't know who he was, but it was like supposedly some dude who was a big deal at the time. He found his name in the phone book. He called him up and he asked him for something, like some electronic parts that he needed. And the guy gave it to him. I think it was Warren Buffett actually who said something along the similar lines. And he talked about how he went and he asked to work for this guy for free. And he said to him, free you're asking for too much. Working for free is still too expensive for him. And it's a very similar approach here. If you're not sure, ask. If you don't know what to do, ask somebody. Find somebody to ask. Most people will not turn you away. Most people don't have an issue answering a question. So just for some advice, they won't tell you. Like, you might send me an email and be like, hey, dude, what do you think of this? I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what? I sell consultations for $2,000 an hour. For $1,000 an hour. Buy one of those. If you just ask me for some simple advice, what do you think of this? and you don't even have to be my customer to ask that, and I'll still answer it. Most people, especially who know their field well, they like to share information. They like to, well, not their own like intimate information about their business necessarily, competitive information, but they do like to share. They do like to share their knowledge. And so if you just would send an email, make a phone call, and ask somebody, you might get an answer, and you got nothing to lose. And if they say no, okay, well, they say no. I remember once I emailed Perry Marshall. I didn't know him. I emailed him to ask about something. He was kind of a dick about it, and he gave some shitty advice. So I knew that he was full of shit. But that doesn't mean that everybody is going to be that everyone's going to be a dick. But then you'll also find out who is a dick and who's not. So at the time I was like, okay, this is getting frustrating. I tried all kinds of things, and just like I'm getting the engagement, I'm getting like people are interested in the emails, they're reading clearly. I figured, okay, maybe the list is stale. Let me start getting some new blood in there. I figured, so I started, running new traffic. I figured, oh, maybe the emails are getting are not landing in inboxes for some reason. Perhaps I need to get a dedicated IP address for my email sending. So I went and I got a couple of dedicated IP addresses and built my own reputation on those, and tried, all sorts of, like, these are all different iterations at different attempts to make this thing that wasn't working work. And I knew at some point I might have to revise the sales letter. I might have to revise the entire offer. I might have to sell something else entirely. Perhaps I thought maybe the product is just not relevant anymore. And of course, you don't want to jump straight away to the most complex, most difficult parts. You want to start with the simpler stuff and then go to more complex. But obviously, simpler doesn't mean go tweak your headline. Tweaking your headline is probably not going to have an effect when you're not making sales. Okay, tweaking your headline won't do it. Adding more testimonials, tweaking your sales page. You want to do something that's a little bit drastic, but just maybe not so much work to start with. So when everything wasn't going, like nothing that I tried was working, I was like, okay, maybe the trick is going to be to run a sale or something like that. Let me see if running a sale will do it. Perhaps I'll do it on such and such a date. But before that, I said, well, you know what? Let me write to Ben and ask him. I sent an email to Ben. I'm like, hey, dude, such and such and such. What do you think? And he said to me, sorry, Ben is Ben Settle. I apologize. I sent him an email and asked him, what do you think? And he said, what's hot these days is list building. Okay. So gave that a go. I thought, all right, maybe there is an issue with the terminology, because I thought it was a given that list building, traffic are kind of, they go hand in hand. But perhaps it was an issue with terminology and people were looking specifically for list building and not necessarily made the connection with traffic. So I tried that as well, and it didn't have the impact I thought it would. I asked a couple of other people, colleagues, friends that I have, what do you think? What would you do? Tried a few more things, and then I was like, okay, that's it. Last thing. This is gonna be it. Let's try. Maybe it's an issue of price. Maybe people just don't have that kind of money right now. So let me just discount it. And just before that happened, I got sick, and I was listening to a presentation in I can't remember where it was. It was like a conference or something on YouTube, and the guy there was Rory Sutherland, and he was talking about how discounting is a kind of a dumb strategy. He said that, I'll share the advice with you that he'd given. So basically he said, I go to these marketing conferences and I see these guys talking about a beacon and some sort of a gizmo. You walk in and they recognize, and it recognizes an old customer is coming into the store. All this that you can tell them is going to give them a 20% discount. I was like, fuck, any idiot can give a 20% discount. Anyway, any idiot, could sell a product by giving a discount. Any idiot can sell a product by reducing its cost. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's true. Reducing the cost of the product isn't a solution at all. He said if you gave 20% more product for the same price, it's just the same as giving a discount. And that's how customers perceive it. So I was like, fuck, that's true. So at that point, I recognized, oh, what if I started to offer a bonus, right? Like a bonus training, so that it would give people an incentive to join. Basically, I stack a bonus on top. I'm like, hey, join the Super Traffic Machine. I'm going to give you some course for free. I was like, yeah, that could do it. So I replaced the idea that I had then with, let me do a training where I'm going to give something away for free. Give this training away for free to people who subscribe by a particular date. Now, what did that do for me? Well, I'm telling you like how I solved multiple problems with this one solution. Number one, I now have a embedded deadline and a reason to act now. Okay, so anybody who was, because I had definitely the readership was there, the interest was there, but people weren't acting now. So I needed a reason for them to act now. Giving them something like this gave them a reason to act now. It acted as if it were a discount without being a discount. So I still made the same, still make the same money. I don't undervalue my product. This was another concern I had. By reducing the price, especially on a subscription product, by reducing the price in a discount, what that would do, the effect it would have, is anybody who was already subscribed was almost being punished for paying full price. It's like you were the dumb cunt who who joined early. That's not what I want to get across, Like, the fact that you joined early should be rewarded. The fact that you joined without a discount is something that I want to reward, not punish. And so I felt like it was kind of a shitty thing to do, to offer a discount to new people, and while I still had subscribers paying full price. So I didn't really want to do that. I thought of maybe doing it like as just a first month discount for new people joining. So anyway, but it's a good thing I never had to do that. So like I said, now I have something additional to offer rather than taking away from the price. I still get to sell the product for the same price. I now have a deadline on a reason for people to join today. And I gave myself something new to talk about in my emails. So now my emails are not basically saying the same things, the staleness of the product was not actually because the product was old or stale. It was the emails were getting stale because the topics just revolved around the same reason to buy. We could change the stories. We could change we could have different stories. We could have different takes on the thing. But in the end, the reason to buy was just repeating the same set of reasons to buy. And so having a bonus gave the opportunity to having a bonus and making it a routine part of offering this product gave me now something new to say every month, something different, a new reason to buy every month without changing the product, without rebuilding the product. So that was something I was trying to avoid, to have to build a brand new product. We'd already put so much work into this one, and what new product were we going to make? Number four, the fourth thing that it helped solve was an issue I never thought that it would solve. I wasn't thinking about solving at that time. Basically, when somebody finished their 8 months and they got all the 8 products from the the 8 modules from the Super Traffic Machine, I had to go in there and cancel their subscription. Okay, I manually went in and deliberately stopped somebody who was paying to be a subscriber from continuing to pay me. And I'd built up all of this goodwill through a product that they'd seen through to the end. Most people who subscribed all the way to the end were extremely pleased with the product and would have liked to continue to pay for more material. And certainly the product in itself is not the end. Like when you finish up the last manual, I'm certainly not, I haven't finished sharing with you all the information that I have. I've got plenty more material to share with you, but that is where the course naturally concludes. And so now I have a because I've got a new product being released, a new sort of mini product being released every month as part of that plan, because that was the next iteration, is okay, let's do this again. It became a reason to remain subscribed beyond the 8 months. And so I solved a whole host of problems, and all of this just because of reiteration. Doing the same activities but differently every time, so that we can take advantage of something learned. Something didn't work, try something else. Something didn't work, try something else. That didn't work, try something else, until something works. And when something works, you stick with it. You keep going. And so sure enough, that's what we did. And here we are. So this is month 2 of this we just finished. Now we're going into the month 3. We talked about a bunch of different ideas about how this was going to go down. And in month 2, so month 1 was really good for sales. We had a bunch of people subscribe, much more than the entire probably previous year. Maybe it was a good influx of new subscribers. We won back subscribers who we had basically lost when we deliberately closed their subscription when they hit the 8-month mark. And we won back subscribers who we'd lost earlier, just for some other reasons, perhaps from us or from them. But what happened in month 2 is that sales were not as much as the previous month. Well, the reason was, part of the reason was it was a continuation, and I didn't know how. It was a continuation of the previous month's module, and I didn't know how I was going to pitch the second month. Well, this month, and we haven't done it just yet, but we're on our way to doing it. This month I'm going to do another iteration on this, where I want to replicate what we did in the first month of this bonusing idea. On the third month, I'm going to basically put up a sales page, because that was like the one of the things that I did to make the previous month work, was to have an individual sales page for the bonus. And I'd planned to do that for all the bonuses. Just I cannot do a big bonus like that one every month. It's going to be way too much work. So I have to do that on a 3-month cycle. And I figured for 3 months, I'm just going to maintain the customers that we won in the beginning of the cycle, and then we'd start a new cycle, and every 3 months it'd be a new influx. But there is a way to make that, I think that there's a way to make that be a monthly thing. And the way to do that would be to create basically what I'm going to be doing this month, an abbreviated sales page, sort of recapping the things that had passed, and having a dedicated page for that. So this is another iteration, like I said, and that's how you grow. So I hope that, hearing about what I've been doing to iterate and learn from previous experiences helps you also to understand how you might go about iterating, and how you might also figure out when you're on the right track, and so you can keep doing the things that are working and change from the things that are not working. All right. So let me know what you think. I hope that you enjoyed that. Until the next video, take care.